I think we finally got on. My apologies, everyone. There were some technical difficulties, and I think we finally got it taken care of. So thank you for your patience. Sheila says, "Hello, Diana and fur babies. Hope you are doing well and that the month May baby wonderful and positive." And Awakening with Susan says, "Hello, Diana. Wow, Philip was right when he said there would be a bombshell. I would say Tucker getting fired was it. For those of you who are not familiar with Tucker Carlson or Carlson, I'm sorry, I'm not sure of his last name because I don't watch Fox. But he was a commentator on what is called Fox News, although I don't think they claim to be a news channel. And they've even said that. Anyway, he was fired with what seemed like no notice at all. So I think that's what Awakening with Susan is talking about. And yeah, I would call that a bit of a bombshell because I think his ratings were really, really high. Vivian says, "Good afternoon, everyone from sunny Montreal." Oh, I'm so glad it's sunny in Montreal today. It's raining. Yeah, it's still raining here. And we had some hard rains last night, but nothing like elsewhere. There are some real serious problems. And Christine says, who will win for president in 2024? Let me answer that at another date because I want to get started on our messages here. But I will say at this point, I think it would be a rerun of 2020. Let me put it that way. And then we will go into that more at a later date. But these are the predictions for May. I always say listen to the end because Philip gives us some more hope at the end. But I want to say they're kind of heavy this month. And yes, we will get a message from one of my books. It's The Master's Book of Answers by Philip. And as many of you know, it's just an oracle book with each page having a different symbol, or excuse me, a different wisdom on it. Christine, I'm not going to answer that right now. Okay. Christine wants to know blue or red, and 2020 was blue. So I don't want to go there right now. I want to stay with May predictions. Okay. And the 2024 election is a lot of things are going to happen between now and then. Excuse me. I've got some water going through one of my eyes here, and I want to clear that up before I read these predictions for you. If you have questions for the weekly, do put them in the comments below for the weekly. We answer your questions, and that would be, Christine, we can look at that in the weekly. We do get into some politics in the monthly predictions. The weekly, if you have personal questions, those I ask you to contact me and we'll set up a session. But if you have esoteric questions that would be of interest to all, go back and look at those videos because they're really about healing. They're about making our world better, not just the US, but the world. So here we go. Philip's predictions for May. May will bring forth much turmoil in the world. This will make it more difficult to stay balanced, but stay balanced you must. When out of balance, it is more difficult to allow your life to be joyful, something that is needed in your world at this time. As we have said before, the world is changing. Those who are on the forefront of these changes will be spit on by those who hold on to what they know as today's world. I don't know that that's anything that we didn't recognize, but as Philip is saying, we have made that evolutionary shift. And as we move into the higher world of love, into the world that gives us more love and more patience, those who are clinging to the past or clinging to what is today, because what he's saying is they don't understand history, they can't They don't have the foresight for looking forward. They're just clinging to what is right now. And clinging to what is right now, they're going to spit on those who are trying to make the change. And in our history as a people, that's not changed yet. Philip goes on to say, their fear does not allow them to see ahead or to understand the past. They see only fear, often disguised as love, but we assure you, love is never control and judgment of another. The evolutionary shift has taken place. You will see more signs of the future this month. However, as we have said, the future is not accepted by many. Information will be known about the creation of humans. This is really interesting. Information will be known about the creation of humans via the use of scientific abilities, using genes rather than sexual encounters. This way of reproduction of humans will be needed as gender assignments disappear over the next few thousand years on Earth's planet. As this evolution proceeds, there will be greater cooperation among humans. So we are evolving, but it's a very slow process. And I was surprised at the few thousand. I was expecting maybe a few hundred, but when you think about it, it probably will take a few thousand. Philip goes on to say, however, in this month, there will be very little signs of cooperation in many countries. Even Australia and New Zealand will hear whispers of unrest. Sudan will deepen in war. Russia's Putin is quite ill, but will continue to harm Ukraine. Perhaps in 3 months, a change will occur. Excuse me, just a moment. Excuse me. When it gets wet, and I've been outside working, I was working some outside the last couple of days. And so I don't have my full voice here. Philip goes on to say, the Middle East is at an uneasy unrest. India and Turkey will see major storms. In the U.S., the major flood areas are along the Mississippi and Ohio rivers. Snow melting along the Colorado River and in the mountain valleys of the West Coast will cause a problem. The U.S. is unsettled. The lack of balance will be felt around the world. The Vatican will call for peace, but it is the beliefs of this religion that causes much of the turmoil. The question is wondered by many as to whether the former U.S. president will be found guilty. Why, of course. Like, why would we even question that? And Christine, I hope that helps you out. The issue is that at this time, he will be found guilty in New York, so the verdict will not be accepted by many outside of New York. There is a possibility of the verdict coming in May, but a stronger possibility in June or even July. In May, there will be major announcements from the federal court's investigations. Excuse me. The DOJ will surprise many with what it has uncovered. The U.S. will survive as one nation at this time. The size and diverse populations will keep the country as a whole, but only its growth will keep it together. And Philip has talked about that before about the U.S. not, although it's patterning pre-World War II Germany, it's a much bigger country and a much more diverse population, and that's what will save us. And as you've heard me say, for the wound to heal, we heal wounds like this, and the wound has to pop open or be pried open so it can heal like this. And as it's healing like this, the pus has to come out. So we have to allow those prejudices and the racism and the ugliness to come out so it can all be healed. Philip goes on to say, this month, and this is the part I love reading. This month, rejoice in the changing of the seasons. Enjoy the autumn-like leaves and the blossoms of spring. Be aware of your surroundings. Relax into the moment, but with full attention. This is a month for planning ahead rather than taking the leap. That time comes next month. Let not the turmoil of others take away your peace. Judge them not, nor judge yourself. Balance is the word you must remember this month. As you seek and find balance, you will come to know peace. In this peace, you will know what action to take, as well as action to take, as when or if action is to be taken. It is in this peace you must stay this month. In this way, you can see the world burn or be cleansed by water, and yet your heart will be free. The rumbles of unrest, although strong this month, will not affect those who live in a peace of the heart. For those who leave, return. And he's talking about live in the peace of your heart. If you leave that peace, return to it. Then send your loving peace out to your sisters and brothers, not by asking them to believe as you do, but by being peaceful and loving in your thoughts and deeds. So, what Philip is saying is a lot of turmoil around the world, certainly here in the US. And Christine says, what do you see for hurricane season? Is Louisiana safe? In the US, I think Philip is excuse me, telling us really that swatch of hurricane season, but also the tornadoes. The storms are going to continue to get stronger, and Louisiana is right in there. So as he says, be aware of your surroundings, but stay in the place of peace. I swear I live in an alley of angels. And the reason I say that is because here in Ohio, south of me, the tornadoes hit. North of me, the tornadoes hit. I seem to be right here. And that's because I do ask the angels to protect my home, and especially the animals, and of course myself. And there she is. She's sleeping. That's one of them. That's little Piper. Well, hello, Mike. You're dragging a little energy-wise. Rest up. Yes, I am. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. It has been, it's just been a busy time. And in addition to working with clients and deadlines for writing assignments, I do or have outside work to do, and it's wearing me out. I need to just hire someone. And Christine says, thanks. You're welcome, Christine. Franco. I'm sorry. I'm trying to see over here on the big screen. And he says, hi, any messages from Philip about cryptocurrencies and the stock market? Thanks. Well, just real quickly, and we can handle that more in depth on if you would put that on. Oh, Sheila, thank you. Sheila just sent a donation, and I'm so grateful. Thank you. I have decided to take off any ads that YouTube puts on. You can go in, I guess, and take that off manually. So I'm trying to do that because they seem to really be bothersome. So thank you. I appreciate that, Sheila. Cryptocurrencies in the stock market. Let me answer that in one of the weekly videos rather than take the time here. But real quickly, cryptocurrency really is a pyramid scam. Pyramid scheme, however you want to say it. So just be careful with cryptocurrency. I want to get our message from Philip. And Franco, and Sheila says, I'm sorry, it is not much, but I do. Oh, Sheila, it is a lot. It is a lot. Thank you. It's not the amount. It's how deeply it touches me. There we go. I'm hearing right. So if you heard right, we're in sync. If you heard left, then that's a message you need to pay attention to. So if you heard right, growth requires stretching beyond that which you know. Growth requires stretching beyond that which you know. That's if you heard right. That's the message for all of us. And I think that Philip is telling us this month we have to really stay in balance. That will help the earth balance. That will help our world balance. And, I find it interesting that so many people are upset. Like, banning books. As a writer, banning books just grates on me, and I try not to let it spoil my day if I think about it. And I'm also very noise sensitive, so noises really get to me, and I have to work back to that place of peace sometimes. And I will tell you, I'm not always able to do that. Sometimes I have to leave a store because the noise of the alarm system is penetrating and hurtful to my ears. I don't know why, I'm just very sensitive. So I think those of us who are sensitive to the energy, we're going to have to be very careful this month from what Phillip is telling us, and take it easy. Take it easy. Now, if you heard left, that which you fear becomes yours. That which you fear becomes yours. So Phillip is telling us, when you leave the peace, when you leave the love, return to it. That's not to say you're going to stay in it. There are those who can't. Most of us can't. So we just have to return. So remember, growth requires stretching beyond that which you know. And that's our message for all of us. If you heard left, though, that which you fear becomes yours. Awakening with Susan says, when I started getting angry at what is happening, I remind myself how those that are not operating in the light are actually helping us move forward, and I can love them for that. Oh, Susan, thank you. Beautiful message from Awakening with Susan. Beautiful message. I'm going to repeat it because I think that is so true. When I start getting angry at what is happening, I remind myself how those that are not operating in the light are actually helping us move forward, and I can love them for that. Thank you. Yes. And hello, Annika World. She says, happy Friday, Diana, Phillip, and everyone in the chat. And Sheila says, we read that, Sheila, and we send you love. I want to say it doesn't sound like the easiest month that we're going to be going through, but we hold each other. Those of you who hear this message, those of you who are able to make it live, those of you who listen to it later, those of you who, excuse me, are practicing and working to stay in the light, in that light of pure love. Don't beat up on yourself when you leave. Just return to it. And remember, we're human. And as Susan is reminding us, when we leave the light, though, because of something somebody did or said, they're just helping us return. They're helping us grow. And that is a beautiful way of looking at it. I love that. They're helping us grow. And Susan says, blessings and love to all. Yes, blessings and love to all. Again, if you have questions, if you would put them in the comments below, that would be very helpful. If they're personal questions, just get a hold of me. You can either call or email. My information's on my website, and the website's below. It's just my name. And I'm happy to answer personal questions privately. I'm happy to answer the bigger questions that we all have an interest in publicly. The predictions, I don't like to do those as well. Predictions privately for somebody's life, for me, that's much easier than predictions for the world. But again, stay in peace. Remember, you have one choice, love, one choice, fear. Choose it. Peace is in love. There is no peace in fear. And I want to thank the young people. And Awakening with Susan says, your predictions truly help us. Good. Thank you. That's why I'm here, Susan. And I think that's why you're here, to help one another. That's why we're all here, to serve the higher good and help each other get through these rough times. For those who, not just the young people, but the young people are really bringing forth this new evolution, and this new evolution of greater love. And as Phillip is telling us, genders are going to disappear. And that is scary for many people. That's not probably fully in my lifetime. But for those who are bringing that forth, thank you, because you are on the evolutionary edge. My generation was on the evolutionary edge of women's rights, and we're seeing those eroding again. We were on the edge of stopping wars, and we've seen some of that, more peace, but now we're seeing it's almost like everything we did is moving backwards. but it's only one step backwards because we've taken 2 steps forward. And at my age, I'm able to see we are moving forward, even though it seems like we are moving back. But again, the old adage, 2 steps forward, 1 back. Christine says, I'm taking care of my grandmother. She's on hospice. She's 93. Will she be with us in the next 3 months? Christine, that's a private question. And so I don't want to take everybody's time up for private questions. But bless her heart, at 93, she's probably willing and ready to move on. I love you all. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for adding love and peace to your life, and that adds it to the world. Thank you for the love you send to us, and thank you for the love you receive from us. Let's make our world better, and together we can do it. See you next week.